I'm Margarita.
My name is Stevie Hudson, co-inhabitant of this lovely home.
We're in Portland, in Southwest Portland.
So this is the Rambling Caravan. It's 16 feet long. It's about 9 feet and 9 inches tall in the front, and it goes to 11 feet tall in the back from the ground. This is the front. We did the siding in cedar shingles. We did a copper roof. It's a hand-done standing seam. Our friend's dad, where we built the house in the Highland Farm in Virginia, he's kind of a master crafter at that, and he taught us how to do standing seam from scratch. So we started out with a 300-foot roll of copper and bent it, kicked it, hammered it, whatever we had to do to get it to this standing seam roof. All of this redwood you see is Eastern red cedar. Most of it was locally milled from our friend's farm. We have some copper panel doors for the shed here, so you can have your storage or solar panels if you want. There's some vents on the side to vent them out. But here's that standing seam I was talking about. So it's all folded over the fasteners, so it's an impermeable layer essentially. So it's really not going anywhere, not leaking. He also taught us how to do copper flashing. So we did hand-bent copper flashing around all of our windows. So yeah, we trimmed the house in all of this Eastern red cedar. We have a regular hose inlet on this side, and the other side we have a 15 amp regular house extension cord we plug into. So you can really go anywhere. We have Eastern red cedar trim around the house and cedar shingles again. We painted our trailer red. We actually got the trailer in raw, kind of on accident, but we got to paint it whatever color we wanted, and we chose bright red, mostly because it was more fun to paint a bright color, but we think it works great with the cedar. This was the first side of the house we did, and we thought doing, square shingles was boring for us. We were kind of trying to play around with it, kind of drew something up, and we're trying to cut them as we went, but eventually we just shingled it up and took a saw and got to cut out nice curves that we wanted. And this is what we came up with. Underneath here is more copper, just to kind of accent everything, and cool to layer two sidings over each other and give it some depth. And we thought, just in case you got really muddy, it'd be really easy just to rinse off the copper. On the back here, we have more cedar shingles. This one we tried to design a little more. This is kind of our ode to where we built the house, in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. Sunny and rolling hills, so we did our best trying to replicate what we thought would give a nice feeling of home on the back. Kind of a nod to where it all came from. This is the passenger side of the house. Again, we have this copper flat seam siding underneath, and we just played with some more curves. This time we tried to do lots of overlapping, so going under, coming over, just trying to add some curves to such a boxy house. This here is the chimney, the thimble is what they call it. So the chimney slides in there, goes in. That bracket just helps support the chimney. Everything's pretty removable since it's so small inside. We try to make it so we can open up the space as much as we can when we aren't using things we don't need to be using. This is our Dutch door. We're pretty stoked about it. It was all single door. When we first started the build, we wanted a Dutch door, but we kind of thought it might have been out of our league, so we built a board and batten door out of all local poplar from our friend's mill again, which is really awesome to use, and we got to go in and see his whole selection of everything that was right from his backyard and pick it out. But yeah, we got to cut it in half, add a little shelf, and it's really crucial, honestly, because we don't have a window on this side of the house, so it adds that breathability and the light when we need it, and if somebody's trying to knock on the door, you can see who it is before you let them in, collecting taxes or whatnot. right, yeah, this is the inside. Comes right into the kitchen. Got this vintage stove we found on Craigslist. We have this awesome copper sink that we got handmade for us out of Mexico on Etsy. Just to go along with the wood, because I think it's pretty important, at least to me and us, and it was during the build, getting to be so close to it. It's everywhere. This Eastern red cedar on our counter is all from our friend's farm. Margarita and I got to finish it, and we even added some crystals in here, and then we epoxied over them, so there's crystals in all would-be knots and holes. We got this stove on Craigslist here. We have this awesome copper sink that we use all the time for everything. It's the only sink, and it's the perfect size. Again, my friend's dad, he taught me a lot, and he helped us and taught me how to solder, so we have exposed copper plumbing just to kind of go with the whole look, and the utility of it's great. These windows were a huge part of the build for us, since getting new windows was pretty unrealistic for us, just because they're pretty expensive to get them new and custom, and if you want wooden windows, it's like a whole nother thing. So we decided to venture out and figure out how to do it ourselves. So we got to find these window sashes and build these custom jambs and add these nice big cedar sills, which we love. We just wanted big sills that we can use as like a shelf or put things we like to see on them. And then over here is our little built-in pantry. So there's some walnut and some cedar again. So much of his boards were just live edge, big slabs. So you can see a lot of the live edge around our house, like on the sill, some on these shelves up here. These big rafters. It's kind of where it all started, really. From framing, it was just a normal, it looked like a normal house, 2x4s, and we got to figure out how to expose some rafters, and we got to pick these nice big Eastern red local cedar boards that you just, I mean, they hit you right in the face. We love it. So the wall is all poplar from our friend's farm again. It came raw, and our buddies helped us turn it into siding, so it's all shiplap poplar siding. And if you come here, this is the inside of where the chimney would be. So this just opens up. The chimney comes off of the stove, which rests on this little drop down table I welded together, and this is the heat shield, of course. But so this folds down. We have a little ammo box wood stove that sits on it. You slide the chimney on. It has two 90s to go out of the wall and then up, and then it rests where you saw outside. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's so small in here, it gets the place hot in the winter. You get to have the windows open. Doesn't even feel like winter sometimes.
And we weren't too worried about making everything airtight because it's such a small space, and it was really important for it to be breathable for us. And that's why we have like shiplap siding that like moves and grows, and we have shingles that also allow airflow.
Yeah, it's kind of two ways. You either enclose a box and control the environment, or you embrace it and make it breathable and have wind flow in.
Make sure there's no leaks.
No leaks. But so the whole house is insulated with sheep wool, which is an awesome insulation. There's a lot of benefits. Except for the ceiling above the green roof is a continuous, basically continuous 3-inch insulation of foam. So there's not much thermal breaks in the house either. Coming over here to the bed and dining room. So this is like where you do most of the living, I guess. We have a nice, what was made for a boat pole. So we'll show you, but it collapses down and all these cushions come together to form our bed, and we'll make our bed over that.
We can fit on it both ways because we're short.
Yeah, we're short.
So we can lay this way, or we can lay the other way.
Yep, this way.
We fit this way, but it is for short
This is only, I think it's a little over 6 feet this way. So it was made for us, or really people under 6 feet. The bed. If you're by yourself, you could easily lay a little diagonally, but it was definitely made with us in mind.
Okay, let's show them the storage. There's one drawer.
Sure.
I just pull this guy off. There it is.
And then we usually just prop it up with this.
Yeah, and that's
I think we have a thing for using sticks as props. I'm not sure where that came from, but
makes sense.
Shelving in the back wall for books and little.
We like to build
altars,
little shrines because we have a lot of
little
crystals
altars.
and art that we like to display.
Here we have the fridge. We have a nice, it's a winter, I think it's a 45 quart chest fridge. It can be a freezer or a fridge. They can't be at the same time. For us, 2 people is perfect. You know, go shopping like once a week, get all what you need in there. It's like the perfect size. It's insanely efficient. So that's really what we were looking for. And it was nice that we were able to fit it underneath the counter. And we cut out this curve so that you could get into the seat from both sides. We only have gray water. So you'll see the shower and the sink, they both connect under the house into an outlet. And here is the hot water heater. Yeah, so this is a Precision Temp RV propane instant water heater. It gets the job done, I'd say. And under here, there's more storage, but we also, it's plumbed to have a 15-gallon fresh water tank. And we have just an RV pump here so that when we're off the grid or don't have access to a hose, we can fill up that 15 gallons and run off of that. It goes through the whole house, goes through the hot water heater or wherever it needs to go. Back here, we have our closet. Poplar shelving is built into the wall. We use a composting toilet, so we have kind of a wet bath. In here, we have a 3x3 regular size shower, which is awesome. And we used like a bucket toilet system. So it works for us when we want to shower. We just take out our cover material and our toilet and we put it here.
Just slide it under there and then you just have a...
We slide it out of the way, take your shower as normal. This is our closet. We chose to ditch more clothing than add more closet space when we moved into here. This is not all of our clothes, but looks good. So this is the shower. You can like open and close it. So it's the shower curtain. It's on a copper, we had some copper pipe, so we bent it and hammered it, try to match the aesthetic. We built these cedar slats just to make it feel nicer. It's better for the toilet to rest on. The water sheds off really easily. So we have this exposed copper faucet here too. Right now we have just like a shower hose so we can control how much water we're using. Since we're on a 15-gallon portable tank, it's pretty important to take water conscious showers. But it's awesome since we soldered a thread onto here, you can change it to a stationary shower pretty easily. And then we also have exhaust fan up there. So these lights we got on Etsy. We saw a guy making them, and they're old insulator lights and, you know, industrial pipings. We like the look of them, we like the color of them. We have LED bulbs just to kind of keep everything down since we're running on 15, and we haven't had a problem. To run the power and the water, both of our hookups are outside. We hook up to a regular hose inlet, and our power is a 15-20 amp inlet, so you can just hook up a normal extension cord to it, no problems. We don't have a circuit breaker. What we have is 2 GFIs, one here and one under the sink, which are the 2 different circuits. But instead of a circuit breaker, these being separate act as the same thing. So if we were to, you know, use a little bit too much power, instead of hitting the circuit breaker that we're connected to, it just hits one of the GFIs, and then we can reset it and, you know, figure out what drew too much power, but it hasn't happened. So the whole house is run on AC, but the hot water heater and the pump are both DC since they're for RVs and they usually run off DC. So underneath there's also a small converter, just that those are hardwired into and then hardwired into the circuit. I mean, a lot of this wouldn't have been possible without like our family and friends. Definitely gotta say thank you. Like, we had a lot of help.
Yeah,
just if it wasn't the building, like we had a lot of help. Just, you know, brainstorming or encouragement or, you know, getting to use the stuff at our friend's farm. So.
Or having
a lot of people
personal
helped
space.
bring our dreams together. It was awesome.
Hey guys, Alexis and Christian here with Tiny House Expedition.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And click left or right for more tiny house stories and tours.